For bit For dinner, the night of the sleepover, we'd be using the home economics classrooms. For us girls, this was the perfect chance to show off our feminine charms. The LCSC was having a meeting at a fast food joint in the shopping district to decide what to cook.
そうだ、男子に食べたいものを聞いてみるのはどうかな。
男子の食べたいものなんてどうせ大したもんじゃないと思うよ。
すずむ、好きな食べ物とかってある？
何でも好きだよ。
出ましたね、女泣かせの一言。嫌いなものはある？
ないですよ。何でも感謝して食べます。
セロリとかピーマンでも平気なわけ？
うん。
さすがはスサラ、好き嫌いがねえとはグレートな男だぜ。おっと待て、その攻撃に俺の計略カードグレート台風が発動だ。
ああ、やられた。夏くんは強いな。
What are they doing? Are they playing Yu-Gi-Oh?
ちょっと男子、
Oh, they
カ
are.
ードゲームで遊んでないで。
何でも好きじゃ参考にならないね。
質問の仕方を変えたらいいと思います。ねえ鈴原先輩、お嫁さんにするならどんなタイプの女性が好きですか？
She really gonna drop that landmine on him now?
俺は俺の熱さについてこられる熱い女がいいぜ。
夏代お兄ちゃんらしいね。でもリリー、暑いのは苦手なの。スズモンはどんなタイプの子と結婚したいわけ？
ごくり。
身の丈に合った普通の子でいいよ。どんな人であっても生涯を共に過ごしたいと誓い合えたならきっと素敵だと思うから。
普通の子というのは家庭的な庶民的な女の子という解釈でよろしいですか？
まあそういうことなのかな。
スズムは家庭的な女の子が好み。
I mean, yeah, I really was training to be a wife. I was learning by helping my mom around the house. But nearly all girls my age were already doing as much.
私、お料理とか上手なわけじゃないのに。
Riria said she'd taken cooking classes, so her dish would probably be pretty decent. Decent? Really? And while Minobe may have looked lazy, she was clever. So perhaps her food would turn out good too.
私、一番女子力低いのがスズムにバレちゃうかも。というか、スズムのことスズムってもう呼べなくなっちゃうの？なんかすごくやだやだだよ。
That aside, Riria sure was aggressive. She kept swearing she just cared deeply for him, that it wasn't love or whatever. But she was passionate enough to go for the guy she liked head on. I was surprised.
私の方が1年お姉さんのはずなのに、リリアちゃんの方がずっと大人に見えるよね。
And then there was Minobe. She was pretty bold herself, claiming she'd consider going out with Suzumu if we didn't make a move. I guess that meant we all had a thing for Suzumu. Yeah, I kinda wondered why.
まあ確かにスズムはちょっぴり素敵だもんね。ああいうのがタイプな子がいてもおかしくはないか。
Maybe I was arrogant for believing that only I understood his appeal. Suddenly, having two new contenders in my quest for love was enough to make it feel like the sky was falling. So, did that really mean I liked Suzumu? Okay. I believed that Suzumu wasn't Minobe or Riria's type, and that only I understood what a catch he was. So I hadn't need to be honest with myself or come to terms with my feelings. But earlier today, I'd been handed an epiphany. I wanted to keep calling Suzumu by his name, and I wanted to be the only one who did.
やっぱりこれって恋なのかな。
I'd fought to reinvent myself in high school to achieve my childhood dream of becoming the perfect wife. Reinvent? I'm sorry, what? And that dream needed a wonderful husband to be complete. I'd been so obsessed with my own dream that I hadn't actually imagined what sort of man he would be. But if I had to ask myself,
進むみたいな旦那さんだったら静かな素敵な家庭を築けそう。
Suzumu kicking back and reading the newspaper. Me in the kitchen, chopping up meat and vegetable with a pot bubbling on the stove. Honey, dinner's ready, clear the table. Yeah, from the in the beginning you start daydreaming about housewife, family life, and then you start talking about suicide and jumping from the track to an oncoming train. I didn't need a mirror to notice I was red as a beet. That dream was my ideal family, my ideal future. Me as the ideal wife with my ideal husband. And finally, after all these years, I had a clear vision of my future husband's face. Facing it head on would be embarrassing, but I had to take a page from Rira's book and stay brave.
やるぞ。女子力を見せつけてスズムのハートをゲットしちゃうんだ。ただ問題は私お料理とか全然なことなんだよな。
I only started helping out with chores in high school. As for what I was doing before that, yeah.
いいから跳ねてみろって。
She was a bully since she
本当にお金持ってないです。
聞いてねえって。いいから跳ねてみろっつってんだよ。
I saw some middle school delinquents shaking down a grade school kid behind the park's bathroom. Grade school kids this day carry cash, huh? Time sure was change. But man, this was so cringy. Really drove home that Susuda was out in the stick. Susuda was out in the sticks.
こら厨房、そういうのかっこ悪いからやめな。
They pretended not to hear me. Well, boys can be pretty stupid. They tend to get so into whatever it is they're doing that they can't hear anyone around them. If I were some dainty girl, the right move would be to ignore this and move along. But I couldn't let a poor little grade schooler suffer.
いいからポケットの中身全部出せよ。
I pulled the leader up by his ear. He'd have to be a real idiot to keep ignoring me at that point.
何しやがんだこの甘。
小学生一人に図体でかいのが何人もで何やってんだか。ほら僕、行っちゃいな。
The little boy looked back and forth between me and the bullies, then made a break for it.
かわいそうに。あの子、一人で遊びに行けなくなっちゃうかもよ。
んだてめえは女だからって調子こいてんじゃねえぞ。
あんたひどい言葉遣いだね。
Moving swiftly, Kizuatohime.
私、年上だよ。目上に対する礼儀もないわけ？
だからなんですか？ススコのお姉ちゃんよ。正義の味方気取りっすか？威勢いいっすね。
カツアゲなんて真似ダサいからマジでやめな。そういうことして生きがってるとこの辺島にしてる怖い人たちに目つけられるよ。
Though most delinquents were basically just pretending to be gangsters, they jumped at an opportunity to fight for the right cause. If they heard some punks were causing trouble on their turf, they gladly called themselves delinquent hunters and pick a fight with this crew. What?
そういうの俺ら全然平気っすから。俺の姉貴血まみれ天女の親衛隊なんすけど。
What the hell is that? Bloodstained Angels Attack Squad? Is that gangster? Bloodstained Angels? Man, what an edgy name. They were a group of delinquent girls who held Susuda under their thumbs. Really?
お姉さんススコっすよね。ススコにも血まみれ天女の人結構いるっすよ。あんま調子こいてんといじめられちゃうんじゃないっすか。
The delinquents started seriously infringing on my personal space. Apparently, they thought I was trembling in fear.
お姉さん、俺たちと仲良くなりましょうよ。
ねえねえ、お姉さんのおごりでカラオケ行きましょうよ。
お姉さんさ、結構可愛いじゃん。彼氏とかいんの？
高校にもなってリボンつけちゃうとか男推しアピールしちゃってんの。
They put their hand on my shoulders and touched my arms. I knew I would regret what would come next. I wish I'd stopped myself. But it was too late.
お姉さんうつむいちゃってどうしたの？怖くて失禁しちゃった？
A moment later, the delinquent found themselves lying flat on the ground. Subakiko had slammed her elbows and knees into their vitals with lightning speed, one after the next.
人がおとなしくしてりゃ調子こいてんじゃねえぞクソガキめら祭るぞこらてめえら血祭りにされてえかこ
らなんだこの甘、わけわかんねえ。
あ？誰がアマだ？ねえ上にどういう口聞いてんだ？祭られてえかこら！
姉貴助けてくれよ。
おいおい何やってんだよダッセーな。
Several delinquent girls in tracksuits showed up. What? It seemed they were members of the Bloodstained Angels the boys had been talking about.
このススコの女がよ調子乗ってんだよ。
うちの弟が世話になってんじゃねえかよ。お前クラスどこよ？
祭るぞこれ。
うちの姉貴はよ血まみれ天女の親衛隊なんだぜ。ぶち切れるとマジやべえんだぜ。土下座しろや。そしてちびりながらカラオケ代をおごりやがれ。
バキコさん。
誰だおめえ。
チワース。そんな可愛い格好してるからわかりませんした。
んだこら。似合ってねえかよ。祭るぞこら。
とんでもないっす。超可愛いです。超似合ってます。なあ。
似合ってます。
さっき私のリボン超似合ってるとか言っただけ。誰だこれ。
私のリボン。
血祭りにされてえかグラー。
I started to focus on my childhood days. I remember them so well. Susuda was a lot different back then, wasn't it? I don't feel like there used to be so many houses. There used to be a lot of fields, but those were gradually replaced by houses and parking lots. I loved going to the local park. There were always people I knew playing there. We'd have fun playing on the slide and in the sandbox. I never once thought about fighting or anything. Back then, I honestly believed there were three kinds of people: family, friends, and future friends. I remember what it felt like, but not all the details. But that was good enough for me. If only I could return back to when there were infinite possibilities laid out before me. The slide was fun, no matter how many times I went down it. I loved making mountains of sand and digging holes. The deeper you dug, the cooler the sand got. Whenever I got thirsty, I would run over to the water fountain and greedily gulp the water straight out of the faucet. My friend's mother would be sitting on the benches, smiling and waving at us. I could get along with anyone here and make friends with them easily, even if we'd only just met or I didn't even know their names. Everyone was nice. There was even this older man who would buy drinks for the kids. There was something strange on the bench near the swing. Whoa! Holy shit. It was it was bulging on the side bench. It was a giant flabby lump of flesh, a blob. I couldn't really explain it. It was like an obese man's stomach had become a giant mass of meat. Something like hair was strewn between its rolls of fat, reminding me of my father when we took baths together. What? I thought nothing of it with my father, but with other people it really disgusted me. Eesh. But that impression was only hindsight back then. I doubt it bothered me. After all the kids would gather around him with beaming smiles when he bought ice cream out of a shopping bag and called us over. What? Stranger danger! Stranger danger! And I was no different. Okay, this is getting interesting. Everyone was crazy for the blob giving away ice cream for free. I was the same. I didn't get to have ice cream much because my parents said it gave me stomach aches. Just then, the blob reached out its hand and it spoke to me. Nowadays, I would have found that repulsive, but the young me had no such reservations. A slimy arm-shaped lump emerged from the blob and struck my cheek. Ew! A gooey, sticky thread covered in sweat hung between my cheek and the blob. Oh no, stop it, it's so gross! Yet the young me was happy, engrossed with the blob that always gave me free treats. My chest was growing tighter and tighter. It was a struggle to breathe. It was the stench, the reek of a rotten stomach, the rank smell of acidic sweat. I gasped for air, but all I could do was keep watching the scene from an outside perspective, like on a TV show. Just then, the giant blob's eye met mine. It slithered off the bench with a creeping sound. It made its way through the children, merrily stuffing their faces with ice cream, and approached me. I was frozen in place. All I could do was watch as that thing wriggled towards me. Meanwhile, the young me just kept licking her popsicle. At that moment, the blob opened its giant mouth as thought it was going to eat me alive, which unveiled everything hidden within. Its pungent breath, putrid as a boiling sewer, its tongue, covered in wires like a sea cucumber, grimy teeth, flecked with yellow spots. It was going to swallow me. No! All of a sudden, the world filled with radiant light. The foul blob writhed in pain upon its arrival. It groaned as it slithered away. I was safe. Just then, my savior appeared within the warm light.
大丈夫？しっかり。
Suzumu emerged from the brilliant light. It saved me.
大丈夫だよ。もう何も怖くないよ。
No, you're an imposter! Among us! There's an imposter among us!
怖いのは僕が追い払ったから。
No, no, this is the real nightmare. Wake me up, please, please! I grip my head and roll around in bed.
どうして入った？どうして私の部屋に入った？
泥棒に押し入られたのかと思ったし、病気や怪我かもしれなかったし。
でも女の子の部屋だよ。乙女の聖域だよ。秘密の花園だよ。
Guarded my ass. There wasn't a single flower in there. And a sanctuary with a gang flag, jacket, and poster of demons and skulls hanging around. Who did I think I was kidding?
スズムに見られた。見られちゃった。もうお嫁に行けないよ。
なんかごめん。
責任取って。
え？
責任取ってよ。私をスズムのお嫁さんにして。
What? I grabbed Suzumu by the collar, my face drenched with sweat and tears. More than anything, I wanted to dig a hole and bury myself in it at that moment.
理由なんか関係ねえんだよ。私の乙女の聖域にあんた踏み込んだんだから。私の乙女土足で踏みにじってごめんねで済まされるわけねえだろ。
靴は履いてないよ。
そういうボケはいいんだよ。こら祭るぞこら。
痛たたた痛いよキコちゃん。
私の心の痛みはそんなもんじゃねえ。謝れ、謝罪しろ。私をスズメのお嫁さんにしろ。
いや落ち着いてよキコちゃん。苦しい。
てめえを思って眠れない夜を過ごした私の苦しみより大したことはね
え。どういうこと？
私がてめえを好きだからに決まってんだろうが、こら
I heaved and caught my breath and finally came back to my senses. Was that really my idea of a confession? What the hell was that? On a scale of 1 to 10, I'd get a minus 100 for femininity on that one.
キコちゃん。
こんなだった私だけど可愛いお嫁さんになりたいの。私スズムのお嫁さんになりたいの。スズムの望むような女の子にはまだほど遠いけど悪いところは直すし、スズムが気に入るようにいっぱい頑張るから。
それは僕も同じだよ。今の僕じゃ仮にキコちゃんと結婚したとしても幸せにできる自信なんてないよ。だから二人で一緒に勉強していこう。
それってどういう意味？
さすがにキコちゃんを僕のお嫁さんにするなんて約束はまだできないよ。 だって僕はまだ未熟だからキコちゃんを幸せにできる自信がない。でもそれはキコちゃんも同じでしょ。だったら二人が互いを幸せにできるかどうか試して、そして学び合わなきゃ。その上で二人が結婚に値するという結論に至ったならそれでいいんじゃないかな。
よくわかんない。
ごめんね。僕も実は何を言ってるのかちょっとわかんなくなってる。
I look up to discover Suzumu's cheek were adorned with a rare red thing. I was the one who went all crazy, so he was trying to play it cool for me. But I could tell he was just as nervous. That made me happy. It wouldn't be fair to ask any more from him. I sat up straight and bowed my head to Suzumu. What?
ずっと好きでした。私が鈴夢のお嫁さんにふさわしいかどうか自信はないけれど、どうか私とお付き合いしてください。悪いところがあったら直します。いいところがあったら頑張ります。だから鈴夢の望む女の子になれたら私を鈴夢のお嫁さんにしてください。
Just then, Suzumu sat like me and repeated my actions.
僕はきっとキコちゃんが期待するほどの立派な男じゃない。だから悪いところがあったら直すし、いいところがあったら伸ばしたい。それを確かめ合い直し合い、その上でまだ僕がキコちゃんのお婿さんにふさわしいと思ってくれた。その時お互いを運命に委ねよう。
なんでそんなに落ち着いてるの？ひょっとして告白されたこと結構ある？
そんなわけないよ。ほら手のひらはびっしょりだよ。
Suzumu showed me his palms, which I took into my own. They were warm, and I could tell his heart was beating as fast as mine.
進も緊張してるんだ。
僕の悩みなんだよ。緊張したり焦ったりしてても誰も信じてくれないんだ。女の子とお付き合いなんかしたことがないからどうすればいいか。
ご安心召されい。私もだよ。
なんだろう、頑張ろう。えいえい。
We both laughed. I never knew the moonlight shining through the curtains could be so gentle. Oh my god. It illuminated the things. How do I read this tinge? I just heard about this. I just learned about this word on our cheeks, revealing our growing embarrassment. The pounding in my chest was so great that I could barely take any more. If we sealed this night with a kiss like a romance novel, our hearts would explode, no doubt about it. So we simply said goodnight to each other and Suzumu returned to his room.
私が勝った時は二人は鈴夢と二人きりで会うの今後禁止ね。
Yeah, how unnatural the girls, attracted to Suzumu.
だってリリアちゃんは芸能人としての指導を受けたいんでしょ。二人きりじゃなくても問題ないよね。
まあそうですね。
見延先輩もね、部活で会う以外は鈴夢と会うの禁止。
ヒコチーさ、先週とずいぶん態度変わったね。
そうかな。
そういえばそうですね。先週はどちらかというと日和見な感じだったのに、今日はやる気満々で鈴原先輩を勝ち取ってやるっていう闘志を感じます。わかっちゃったぞ。おいらたちにスズムンを取られるかもって思ったら
短すぎて気づかなかったスズムンへの思いに気づいちゃったんだな。ぎっくり。なるほど。でもそういう潔さ敬服しますよ。そうでなくっては。
We each began setting up our cooking stations. We all bought the ingredients in our spare time, and so we took them all out of the fridge.
ふん、キコチは豚のひき肉か。ハンバーグかな。
Oh no, she figured it out from the ingredients alone.
決めつけは早計です。餃子かもしれないし、麻婆豆腐もありえますね。
麻婆豆腐
そぼろを作れば応用も効きますし。
You could use minced pork for more than hamburger stick? Oh god, my lady credentials were at an all-time low. Dinner remained a lively affair to the end, everyone's stomachs bursting with food. In the end, the competition was called off. And here I thought I'd won thanks to my hamburger stick. But I decided since I was already the winner, I'd just accept it. Of course, by winner, I wasn't referring to the cooking competition. Right, they say removing obstacles in your path is important at times like this. I needed words, not actions. I'd announce it to everyone. Suzumu would be alright with it, wouldn't he? He'd accepted my confession, right?
何？
ここでさ、みんなに発表しようと思うの。
発表って？
It took everything I had to not to slap him in the face and shout that we're going out, dumbass. Just then Suzumu smiled.
僕とキコちゃんが付き合うことになったって？
Oh, so it's true.
わかってるじゃん。
わざわざ言うことかな。
言うことなの。じゃないとスズムがまだフリーだと思って言い寄ってくることが現れるかもしれないでしょ。
そんな子いないと思うけどな。
Oh, there was alright. Every girl in this room, in fact, minus Kurokami.
お願いスズム、こういうことははっきりさせたいの。みんなの前で堂々と発表できて初めて認められると思うの。
まあキコちゃんがいいならいいと思うよ。
おい、ススハラのターンだぜ。
No, it's me and Suzumu's turn.
黒髪さん、帰る前にちょっといい？ん？みんな、ちょっと聞いてください。何事？
なんだどうしたってんだ。
Suzumu and I stood side by side, and the others fell silent. Crap, the silence made it harder on me. Oh, forget it. This is all or nothing.
私、春宮椿子と鈴原鈴は付き合うことになりました。
The whole room grew quiet. I could feel myself sweating. Everyone's eyes were wide. Would it kill someone to clap or congratulate us? The silence was killing me.
あんたたち、いつからそういうことになってたの？先週私から告って。
それって料理勝負しようって決めた先週の日曜日のことですか？
Oh no, what with the BGM? I don't like this.
なんかフェアじゃないな。
そうですよね。春宮先輩、フェアじゃないです。
Wait, what? Minobe and Rydia were glaring daggers at me. There wasn't the faintest hint of a smile on their faces. They were that serious. What is going on? I winced. This was not what I expected.
私たち公平に対決しようって決めましたよね。なのに春宮先輩あっさり抜け駆けしたってわけなんですよね。感じ悪いよ。
Ooh.
私たちの気持ち分かってたでしょ。あの日私たち素直に言ったもん。
言ったってだって見延先輩は茶化したような言い方だったし、リリアちゃんだって恋愛じゃなくて親愛だって言ってたじゃん。
あ、そうですか。そういう態度ですか。すっとぼけたふりしてなかなかやってくれますね。
Wait, hold on.
おいらも見誤ったよ。そういう子だとは思わなかった。
やめようよ。どうしたのみんな。
マジになりすぎだぜ。青春の1ページじゃねえかよ。
The atmosphere was so strained that even the boys were dismayed. Even the normally inattentive Kurokami was staring me down.
スズムンはキコチンに告白されたからそれを OK しただけの話で、だからって別にさらに誰かがスズムンに告白しちゃいけないルールはないわけだよね。早い者勝ちのノールールですものね。春宮先輩の話だとそうなります。
The two were threatening to steal Suzume away from me, with nothing to indicate they were joking. Riria aside, this was the first time I'd ever seen the otherwise carefree Minobe look so serious.
やめてよみんな。
Yeah, just chill, girls. Chill. What is going on? Suzume shouted harshly. Suzume? お掃除姫マジカルリリーI forgot.
リリーはこんなに大勢に愛されて幸せ者なの。
Zealous fans cheered in response. I was the only one in the audience confused, standing completely frozen. Just then, she started passing through the audience to a round stage in the center of the hall. The fans all reached their hands out to her like zombies emerging from their graves. The girl took a look at the countless hands and curved her lips into an impish smirk. Several dazzling spotlights shone on me.
お掃除の国のプリンセスに触れてもいいのはこの人だけなの。私の瞳に映るのはあなただけ。スズムお兄ちゃん。
The hall was wrapped in the stillness of death before I could even process what I was witnessing.
これでもうマジカルリリーはスズムお兄ちゃんだけのものなんだよ。他に何もいらないの。ただスズムお兄ちゃんだけがいてくれればいい。
She descended to the stage and slowly stepped towards me, walking a red carpet of viscera all the way. All of a sudden, two protrusions started growing slowly from her head. They looked like pitch-black branches or deer antlers. Huh? Where was I? I found myself in a room straight out of fairy tale. Is this Minobe in Murderland? I was sitting in a chair and afternoon tea sets lying on the table before me.
ふざけた小娘だね。
やってくれるよ。ここでは私はお姫様だし、スズムンは王子様なんだよ。そして毎日が何かの記念日で、毎日新しい出会いがあり、毎日新しい冒険がある。こんな楽しい世界をオイラとスズムンで独り占めできるんだよ。いいじゃん、そんなのの中身なんてどうだって。
Ah, no. I heard a cracking sound from her head, her skull. Huh? Two black horns like withered branches sprouted out of it. Naturally.
もうさっきから何なんだよ。わけがわからない。
I was in the midst of a dark snowfield. A blizzard of soot-like snow hauled around me, dyeing everything pitch black. Part of me was convinced of this had to be a really bad nightmare. I surveyed my surroundings. No one was to be found. But when I looked up, I saw someone sitting on the top of the bell.
降り積もりし年月の重み、貴様ごときに払える道理はなし。
Oh,
黒髪さん、この中に人が閉じ込められているんだ。
救いたいか。
助けなきゃ。
ならば無駄を知るまで存分に試せ。
she gave me a belittling smirk from her perch on the bell. If you think you can save her, then by all means do try. That was what her expression appeared to say. I called my mind and honed my spirit as she ridiculed me. I didn't know why, but I felt like I was meant to be here on this day. If all of this was fate, then perhaps it was destined that I would be here.
覇者検証、弱を打ち破りて正しきを示す。鈴原流親善武術、鈴原進。いざ。
I felt whirlwinds gathered and condensed into my fist. Brilliant light leaked out of it, as if I held a drop of the sun in my hand.
お前、それは。
When I saw the look of bewilderment warp her features, I knew this sacred fist offered unto God would pierce through. Everything shattered like glass in a burst of radiant light. Even the bell and Kurokami were reduced to particle and vanished into the brilliance. The soot-like blizzard scattered apart. Through the round hole in the bell, I saw Tsubakiko smeared in soot.
キコちゃん、キコちゃん。
She was still breathing. I brushed away the mountains of soot from her body and held her in my arms. Horns like branches were growing out of her head.
ありがとう、スズム。
もう大丈夫だよ。
うん、これでスズムは私だけのものだね。スズム、愛してる。だからスズムのすすを全部私に注ぎ込んで。
I knew it.
え？
She spread her arms like wings and wrapped them around my body. Her claws dug into me, keeping me from escaping. And so I ended up becoming her prey. Did she eat me?
見延さんと布川さんもお休みだそうです。敦田くんと鈴原くんの体調はどうですか？
I had a bad feeling about this. I really had a bad feeling about this. Like school days. I suspect there's something similar to school days was going to happen.
俺はへっちゃらだぜ。
僕ももう今は大丈夫って送ってくれる？夏くんはメール打つのいつ見ても早いな。
数々のデュエルで鍛えた指さばきの賜物よ。
What? Miss Hinagata eventually replied, "Can you come to the infirmary after school, Susuhara? I'd like to check on your condition." Wow, everyone wants some piece of me, Susuhara, I mean. Once last period had ended, I headed for the infirmary.
鈴原くんの体調はどう？
僕はあの日の昼にはもう大丈夫でした。でもキコちゃんは？
悪い夢にうなされているような感じ？
はい、僕もあの夜何かとても気持ちの悪い夢にうなされた気がします。キコちゃんも悪夢にうなされていたと言ってた。きっと見延先輩もリリアちゃんも。
症状はみんな同じよ。みんな悪い夢にうなされて苦しんでいる。
Miss Hinagata had apparently just gone to visit them all. That included Kiko, of course. There she learned they were all plagued by the same symptoms.
これは病気か何かですか？こんなことを言うとおかしいと思われるかもしれないんですけど。
何？
僕にはひょっとしたら悪夢を和らげる力があるのかも。
I mean, it's time that we talk about it with someone else, like friend Natsu maybe. It's about time that the protagonist has to talk about these recurring nightmares, these supernatural occurrence events. Miss Hinagata gaped in surprise. She probably hadn't been expecting that.
どうしてそう思ったの？
僕が修行している親善武術は覇者の力を宿すと父が。
He really did say Paja no Chikara, right?
親善武術って？
I gave Miss Hinagata a simple explanation that the Susuhara Divine Tribute style had the goal of offering dedication unto God, that it granted one the power to crush evil for that purpose, and that when I tried it on Kiko, it alleviated her suffering a little.
あの時のキコちゃんに、
Oh no.
彼女は心から僕の力で悪夢が晴らされたと信じてた。彼女のお世辞でもなく僕のうぬぼれでもないならば、僕には何かそういう力が宿っているように思います。
どうして鈴原くんをシャチホコ部に招いたか知ってる？
Because he's the main character of a harem game? Harem horror game?
いえ。
私もなの。私も春宮さんたちと同じく
What?
悪い白チュームを見やすい体質なの。
Really?
成人してからだいぶマシになったけれどね。それでもたまに見るの。あの日もね、久しぶりに随分と気持ちの悪い白チュームにやられていた。その時よ、白い暖かな光に満たされて悪夢から目覚めさせられたの。
まさか。
その時保健室に入ってきたのがあなたと敦田くんよ。
先生もキコちゃんも悪夢を見やすい体質だと言っていました。 ひょっとしたら見延先輩もリリアちゃんも
Curious. A local community service club would normally be made public and attract lots of students. But that wasn't the case with the club. It was a secret club that only those with Miss Hinagara's invitation could join.
そうね。もし鈴原くんが私の期待する通りの力を持つ人なら、近いうちに全てを話さなければならないでしょうね。
Oh, please do tell us everything soon.
最後は黒髪さんですね。
そう。彼女が一番ひどいの。彼女にもあなたの力が通じるなら、これはすごいことだわ。そういえば鈴原くんって珍しい名字よね。
そうですね。あまり他では聞いたことがないです。
すすを払うと書いて鈴原。
Oh? So it literally means drive the soot away. But Kurokami said that Suzuhara is corrupted.
すすだかその周辺にご先祖様が住んでいたということは？
Okay, Susuda, does it mean like Susu in soot and Da in field literally mean a field of soot?
どうでしょう。親に聞いてみないとわからないです。
この町の名のすすだ。大昔はすすの田んぼと書いてすすだと読んだらしいの。
Oh shit, I'm right. You know, our town's name is currently written as Field of Hope, but they say long ago the Susu part was written as Soot instead. In the other words, Field of Soot.
そしてあなたの名字はすすを払うと書いてすす払。
Wow, definitely a coincidence. Not related at all. With the other girls, my touch or even my mere presence had eased their nightmares. However, with her, the closer I got, the greater her pain grew. Did she hate me? Or was I really as corrupt as she thought? But she'd been chatting with the rest of us the night of the sleepover, hadn't she? She was even closer to me then, and responded to me like anyone else would. Yet at this moment, it was as though the very sight of me brought her pain.
だから騙されたと思って彼の手に触れてみて。
できない。
Why? You know, the voice actor did a awesome job. Like, she was in pain when she said every word.
黒髪さん、僕にはその辛さを和らげる力があるかもしれないんだ。
夜な、され、お前の姿が見えなくなるところへ、され。
辛いのはわかるけど落ち着いて。彼には本当に不思議な力が。
何度も言わせるな。鈴原の汚れが、鈴が強すぎる。早く消えろ。
Kurokami covered her face with her hands as though she were about to claw it off. Just then, her long black hair danced in a whirlwind. It looked as though that wind had come for her.
黒髪さん。
お前が。
What? Who are you? Who is this?
欲しい。
え？
抱いて。鈴原。私を抱いて。
All of a sudden, there was a loud snap, For a moment, I wondered if branch-like horns were sprouting from her head. But I was wrong. Little pieces were flying off the countless dolls surrounding her. Right. Oh. They were the dolls' heads. The heads of the dolls encircling Kurokami burst off one by one. One of them landed right at my feet. What? What's happening?
注ぎ込んで
何を
鈴原の真っ黒なすす私の中に全部注ぎ込んで
I had no clue what she was talking about. Her face was eerily seductive, as bewitching as a spider approaching its prey. It didn't seem to me she was saying those things on her own volition. I could only imagine something evil was possessing her and making her say that. And perhaps I could save her?
やめ
落ち着いて黒髪さん。僕には助けられるかもしれない。
I ran into the hall without removing my swoosh when all of a sudden there was a loud bang. The head of the dolls I approached burst off all at once. I had no idea what had happened, but my heart was struck with an impression. The countless dolls were glaring at me with but a single emotion: rejection. I stopped in place, like I'd stepped into quicksand of their making. Deep down I could feel it in my bones. If I went any closer, I'd break not just the doll, but her too.
黒髪さん、君を救いたい。僕はどうすればいいんだ。
遅い。
Again, with the too late.
お前は遅い。
何が
千年遅い。
Density of her suit. What?
すす。彼女も言ってました。僕の真っ黒なすすって。何ですか、すすって。言葉通りの意味ではないですよね。すすだはかつてすすの田んぼと書いた。何なんですか、すすって。今日一日協力したんです。もう教えてくれてもいいですよね。
Yes, tell us.
長い話になるわ。
No!
次の日曜はどう？電話するわ。
If I leave on Sunday. Okay. Three human figures stood in the classroom, illuminated only by the faint moonlight. They were holding hands, standing in a circle. A desk with a small candle sitting on top stood between them. That tiny light illuminated them and projected their shadows onto the classroom wall, looming large like monsters. They looked both like humans and like a deer standing on their hind legs. As for why no one would think that, the shadow had branch-like horns growing out of their heads. What is going on? Is this a cult or something?
ああ、小賢しや。人をにめ。
Impertinent men demons? What?
復讐を夢見てすでに育成層。 の子が欲しいあの子じゃわからん相談しましょうそうしましょう
The three horned humans slowly spun around as they sang a tuneless children's song. Their expressions were completely vacant.
お山の鹿さんちょっと来ておくれ鬼がいるから行かれないお釜をかぶってちょっと切っておくれ角があるからかぶれないお布団かぶってちょっと切っておくれすすって真っ黒かぶれないあの子が欲しいあの子じゃわからん相談しましょうそうしましょう
All of a sudden, they stopped. A heavy silence descended. None of them so much as moved a muscle.
包むが欲しい
No! Whoa, whoa, whoa. What's going on? I hate this game. A sound like the crushing of pile branches resounded. Kanai had crushed Tsubakiko's finger. Yet Tsubakiko didn't even blink.
進むはやらん
Another snap. Tsubakiko bent Kanai's finger back.
おすすが欲しい
Snap, snap.
おすすはやらん
Another snap, followed by the sound of mashing meat.
すすさふらしておいたし人にの里さを置いたしわざわざ募らす呪いのすすさ
The three kept singing and crushing each other's fingers as though it were some sort of children's game. They started out in a circle, but that gradually broke apart. Just then, the three bizarre human-like creatures started swelling and mixing together.
鈴が欲しい私が欲しいむしろに譲ら
They clawed, bit, and tore each other apart. Loud and wet sounds roared every time they met, and dark splashes painted the walls, blackboard, floor, and desks. Eventually, the desk with the candle fell over, extinguishing the only light in the room. The sole illumination left in the pitch-black classroom was the faint strands of moonlight shining through. All that gleamed through the darkness was the crimson glow of eyes not human. It was impossible to even tell there were three of them anymore. They merely continued swaying and eating each other. Spatters of black blood and chunks of flesh littered the room. Fingers, skin, earlobes, eyelids, nails, scalps, blood vessels, and entrails were scattered everywhere. Eventually, the human-like figure turned into husks. They convulsed over and over, but it seems they were no longer capable of killing. There was too little of them left. One of the husks staggered to its feet. Their whole body had been torn at and gnawed limb from limb, so they couldn't even be called human-like anymore. All that was left was a shell, a human skeleton clad in blood-stained flesh and blood vessels. It rose off the ground, looked to the ceiling, and howled.
これで進むは私だけのもの進む大好き
I couldn't make heads or tails of that dream, but it felt real to me. Kiko's room was unlocked, and her shoes were gone. She'd gone out on her own in the middle of the night. I called her phone, but it merely shone in her dark room. I didn't know where she'd gone, but my nightmare had taken place at school. I couldn't get a good look in the dark, but it appeared to have been the club's room. The entryway was probably locked, so I couldn't get in from there. But the LCSC's club room was right by the infirmary. The infirmary was right in front of where you cross over the schoolyard, so the club room was... All of a sudden, I thought I saw a small light coming from within the clubroom window. It wasn't the room's light. This light was orange and swaying. I ran over to the window and realized it was fire. Flames had spread all throughout the clubroom, brightly illuminating the world inside. At that moment, there was an orange burst, and the window shattered and scattered everywhere like snow. I ran through that blizzard and jumped into the club room. Crimson flames were slowly burning the room. And just as I'd seen in my nightmare, Minobe, Riria, and Subakiko were in the center, reduced to a chunk of meat. So that really wasn't a dream. All three of them had fallen for me and fought over me, and then they killed each other here. I brought about this tragedy. Kurokami was right. I was corrupted, cursed. So this happened because I got close to them. And even if I wanted to apologize, I couldn't even tell which of them was which anymore. Just then, the flames swelled higher, like a wave. And as their scorching winds blazed on through, I felt someone slowly stand up behind me. I turned around and saw her. Her voice and figure were Kiko's, but that couldn't be, because Kiko was already nothing more than a pile of flesh at my feet. So no matter how much it looked like her, it wasn't. But I couldn't help but see it as her.
キコちゃん、僕はやっぱり呪われていたんだ。
いいんだよ、スズム。スズムのせいじゃない。だってこれはずっと気が遠くなるほどの昔に決められた運命だもの。だからスズムのせいじゃないんだよ。
I slowly embraced the girl clad in flames. Her flames engulfed me, and before long our shapes became one. The flames would scorch all, burn them to the ground, and reduce them to soot. Kiko, Minobe, Riria, me, all of us would turn to soot, become one, and return to heaven. All of us would become one.
1000年待ったんだよ。
What? Huh?
やっと迎えに来てくれたんだね。
What? What is going on? Oh. She had been waiting in there for so long, trapped in that bronze prison along with the suit for 1,000 agonizing years. Oh, I see. It's because of her that I embarked on that long journey. In my last moment, I finally realized it. This was where I was meant to return.